Hello everyone. This video I've been thinking about recording for a long time. And I thought, well, I think it's time to do it now. Sorry, I got 35 feet of TRRS cord hooked up here. Maybe I should have removed one of the cords. I got a 10-footer and a 25-footer I got through eBay about a week ago. The sound just doesn't pick up as well if I don't use this headset microphone, because I'm standing about 10 feet from my phone. It's on a tripod on my tractor. I'm going to start my video by seeing if I can lift myself up off the ground by pulling on my hair. Let's pull the headphones back like this, so I'm still speaking into the microphone. Okay, here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm pulling straight up. Yeah, I'm still standing on the ground. I could try and pull with two hands. Boy, that hurts. Oh, that doesn't hurt when... That doesn't feel good when you're pulling on your own hair. I'm sure it hurts a lot worse when someone else is pulling on your hair, but you can see I'm still standing on the ground. I'm not levitating. Kind of similar concept to some of these Democrats running for president, like Bernie Sanders. And he wants to give away a lot of things, like Santa Claus. Santa Claus with a printing press. But anyway, I'm going to sit down here. I don't want to stand the whole video. I got a fan behind me. Video's probably recorded over 2 minutes already. Let's see. I'll just start my timer on my watch. Here's my storage here. Well, one section of my storage. There's a grain bin over there. Then there's another building that I got a 13 by 45 section that I rent. I don't have the whole building. I just have a 13 by 45. This here is probably, this section of this building's probably about 25 by 30. It's not exactly square. So I have stuff in 3 different sections of 3 buildings. Plus my mom has stuff stored in the grain bin. But I had a lawn business years ago, long time ago, and then I transitioned to picking up free mowers through the Trading Times and Craigslist and parting them out, or else I'd pick up a mower that was 50 or 100 bucks. Part them out, try and make money. I didn't make much money at it. My storage here, it's on a private farm. A retired couple owns this property. They bought this property, early 70s. Another purpose I have for renting out this storage is I've done a lot of repairs to my vehicles over the 17 years I've stored stuff here. I've cut up 2 F-150s. I cut up an F-350 that I originally was going to rebuild. But it just needed so much work, and the process of going through the DOT inspection and the paperwork just looked like more than it was worth after I looked into it. But I've done the vehicle repairs I've done to my various vehicles over 17 years is probably, oh darn, maybe it could be worth $8,000 or $10,000 worth that I would have paid at a repair shop. I have more repairs I need to make to all 3 of my Rangers that would cost a lot of money that I don't have. at a repair shop. Plus, I've been gathering parts to build some pull-type mowers. In the 90s, I decided I wanted to build pull-type mowers, like the Swisher and Acres brand. You can look up Swisher mowers out of Warrensburg, Missouri. And I had some ideas for a pull-type mower. And I've been gathering parts, and I got engines, clutches, blades, spindles, casters. I got all kinds of stuff to make those prototypes, and then I came up with this idea for this pedal cart. Right here in 2016, I built most of the frame for a pedal cart that's four-wheel drive and four-wheel steer, all pedal-powered, multi-speed, disc brakes, off-road capability. Very unique design. I'm not going to show it to you. But since I was a kid, I've loved riding mowers. I've loved mowing the grass. I spend about $300 a month renting all of this. If it was commercial, I'd be spending $500, $600, $700 a month for the same amount of square footage. But there's a lot of things that this storage is provided for me. You know, doing repairs, coming and going when I want to. I get along with the owners. I have a lot of liberties here. They don't want me bringing people here if I sell something. I've made a little bit of money parting out mowers, not much. But I store some of my mom's stuff here. You know, didn't quite finish the prototype pedal cart. The frustrating part is well, people that know, are subscribers that know my other videos, I have Lyme disease. I was diagnosed with Lyme disease. June 20th of 2013, they called me up and says, "Yep, Boyd, your test was positive. You have Lyme disease." I had a tick bite on or a bullseye on my right arm in the early 80s. Somewhere around 82, 83, 84, I showed it to my brother Brad. I had just come in from mowing grass. Back then I was a teenage kid mowing neighborhood lawns, and I showed it to my brother, and he says, "Oh, it's probably some tick bite. It's nothing." Well, early 80s, nobody, very, very, very few doctors had even heard of Lyme disease in the early 80s. The first Lyme disease diagnosis in Minnesota was 1980. It was done by my doctor. I started seeing him in, I think, December of 2005 and trying to figure out my health problems. And he was scratching his head. We did tests. Well, my vitamin D level was really low. And after a while, we figured out I'm hypoglycemic. And, I mean, many doctor's appointments. He finally figured out, well, malabsorption syndrome, because I could eat a huge amount of food and not gain any weight. And it's like I had to eat twice as much food as another person my size and weight to have any energy to be able to do anything. But yeah, the Lyme disease was finally diagnosed June of 2013, and I tried, and my doctor put me on one antibiotic in July of 2013. I started taking it 1 day a week on my 1 day off every week, and I was really sick. And the plan was it was going to go up to 2 days a week, then 3 days a week, and stuff like that. But I was so sick I couldn't drive. Well, my main income is driving for a living. Oh, what noise is that? Thought I heard a noise like something dropping. There's an old hayloft above me. And there's no cat. Shouldn't be any cats in here. I haven't seen raccoons in here for several years, but yeah, I started getting worse. 2014, I was getting worse. Started having heart pains, and that was from the Lyme disease. Lyme disease and eating foods that had artificial flavoring in them. I don't know, usually there's nobody else here when I'm here. The owner's son has a construction business and he stores stuff the other part of the barn here, but I don't see him very often. But the frustrating thing is, you know, I've been on Facebook since about, I think, 2008. Maybe it was before then I joined Facebook. And everybody knew about my Lyme diagnosis in 2013. And I've asked people for help. Over and over again, asked them for help. Family and people on Facebook. Some of the people on Facebook are from the church I used to go to. Some of my family is friends on Facebook. Other people I know on Facebook are co-workers or people I've met around town that I live in. And it is so frustrating. My health goes up and down and up and down and up and down. Yeah, so in July 2013 I was on the antibiotics and I had to get off of them because I was so sick I couldn't drive. So yeah, I started getting the heart pains August of 2014. I started getting more tired. I was so tired that in the day, you know, after, you know, I almost always got enough sleep, maybe a little bit more sleep than I needed. So I'm normally not short of sleep, but I'd be working my job and I'd be so tired that I would wear a t-shirt through most of the winter so I could have a chill to keep my mind alert. And I deliver pizza. I'd get to people's doors with a pizza bag and wearing a t-shirt, and they come out and they look at me and says, their eyes get big, says, "Aren't you cold? Oh, let me get you a jacket or let me get you a sweatshirt." And I says, "Oh, I'm fine." If there was a day where it was really cold, then I'd put a sweatshirt on or a jacket. But say 20 degrees, no wind, I'd be wearing a t-shirt. But the last 5 years has just been unbelievable struggle. I was getting so sick in 2014, 2015 that I thought that I was very close to having to stop working because I was so sick. I finally, about the middle of March 2015, my memory started to go, and that ended up being the beginning stages of Lyme dementia. I lived with that about 5 weeks. I was forgetting the names of a lot of common things. I was forgetting how to drive through town. I was forgetting streets. Where streets were, I'd see an address. I had a pizza delivery too, and I'd ask, "Well, where is that street?" And people, my co-workers would be saying to me, "Boyd, you should know where that street is." And one day I was going to cook something on the stove, and there was one of these Pyrex glass things with a glass top on it sitting on the stove. Well, I turned the wrong burner on. Didn't realize it until I saw from across the kitchen the glowing red burner underneath that Pyrex glass thing. I thought, it's too late to pull that Pyrex thing off of the stove. I better get away from it. And it exploded, just bam! And there was actually a piece of glass, and it hit me in the leg, and the glass was so hot that where it landed on the carpet in various places, it melted part of the carpet. Once after it exploded, I was able to turn off the oven or the stovetop burner, but it scared the crap out of the cats. So my doctor put me on this pure paleo protein powder. My mind came back, and then after that we started my 9-month journey on 2 pharmaceutical antibiotics for the Lyme disease. And I slowly, I think that started April 2015. Is it? Yeah, middle of April, because I went all the way through the middle of January 2016. I felt pretty darn good. February, March 2016, April 2016, I was kind of like, yeah, not feeling quite as good. And then May, I was, boy, I knew I was going downhill. And then in the span of about 10 days or less, in May of 2015, I just nosedived. And the Lyme had returned, and it had attacked my nervous system. I had trouble walking. I couldn't walk straight like a normal human. I had trouble walking. I emailed my doctor, and he put me on the natural medicine antibiotic that he had wanted me to take as soon as I was done with the pharmaceutical antibiotics, January of 2016, but I didn't have the money for it. I make more money in the summer than I do in the winter. I had no choice, and I had to jam it in my budget. And I started the natural medicine antibiotic along with a high quality CBD oil, and I slowly recovered from that. But my health goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And my doctor usually takes me off of the natural medicine antibiotic a month or 2 or 3 during the middle of the year. It's usually in the middle of the summer. I last saw my doctor January of 2019. It is, what day is it? It is Wednesday, July 17th, 2019. I'm going to see my doctor, my Lyme literate doctor, in August of 2019. But, and through all of this, 6 years and 1 month ago, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I started getting rid of stuff. I used to, I still had, at that time, 6 years ago, I still had frames from multiple riding mowers I had parted out that were in here. Started loading them up in my truck, or my trailer, and I was hauling multiple loads of scrap in. To have energy, I would eat Snickers bars. I always had Snickers bars with me in my truck. And I would get myself wired up on Snickers bars so I would have enough energy to tackle that task. I also would eat Snickers bars just before getting to work or just after getting work, and I had to get myself wired up to keep up with the demands of my job. Sometimes I'd have to eat another Snickers bar before the end of the night so I could have enough energy to sweep and mop the floor. My employer, I've been working at the same restaurant now since spring of 2002. My employer, they like the good job that I do sweeping and mopping. They know I've been through this battle with Lyme disease, and it's been nasty. And they've been nice enough not to fire me or not to replace me with someone else. But back to 2016, yeah, I went back on the natural medicine antibiotic, and I felt better, and then I still had sugar in my diet at that time, and I could have actually a pretty high level of energy with sugar added to my diet. My doctor just bugged me over and over again. Boyd, please remove sugar from your diet. It's not good for you. And anybody who follows health issues on the internet or reads a lot of health forums knows that there's a connection between sugar and cancer, sugar and inflammation, sugar and health problems, inflammation and many health problems. And so I started having trouble with pain in my arms. And well, what does Lyme disease do? It causes inflammation. What does sugar do? It causes inflammation. And there was another Lyme literate doctor, female doctor, I went and I saw once. I think it was August of 2014. Quite a bit of money was spent on one visit to her office and another Lyme disease test, which was negative. I've had tests since that visit to her office that have been positive through my regular Lyme literate doctor. But when she examined me, she came around from where she was sitting and she grabbed my arms and she felt my arms and she noticed how cold my arms were, and she said, she warned me, completely remove sugar from your diet, because I have seen some people with Lyme disease completely lose use of their arms. I mean completely. And I did a Google search on arms, arm weakness and Lyme disease, and I think about a month or two ago I found a website. They actually have a name for when a person with Lyme disease completely loses use of their arms, and there's a treatment they have tried with them, and I think it works on about 2/3 of the people that they tried on, and another third just doesn't help them at all. So that's one thing that scared me. I've actually lived with pain. I mean sharp pain in my arms as I have swept and mopped the floor at the restaurant I work at. And I like sugar. Man, that must be fireworks going off nearby. I like sugar. And well, it's 2019. I got some kind of bug again early April 2019. And my health suddenly took a dive again. And I noticed, plus I was getting pain in my kidneys more on the left side than the right side. And I noticed that the pain was worse after I ate sugar. So I think it was before the 1st of May. I stopped having sugar in my diet. And I had continuing pain in my left kidney. And it just slowly went away. And I haven't felt any aching pain in my left kidney for about 2 weeks now. In middle of July. But sorry, I don't have any notes for all of this. But let's jump back to 2017. Well, January 2017, this gal that I had met at my work in 2006, I fell in love with her, and we worked together for a year, and then she was dealing with a health problem. She had to move back to Montana to live with her parents. She visited me again at work November of 2011, and after she left, I broke down crying. I just lost it. And that's when I figured out how much I love her. I found her on Facebook. I think it was 2013. She was in a relationship that fell apart, I think spring of 2015. Fall of 2015, I shared my feelings with her, and she says, sorry, I don't share those feelings with you. And she ended up going into the hospital for this health problem she lives with. And then she got out December 9th, 2015. Her and I started texting every day, and we texted every day for a year. And she fell in love with me through those text messages. We were also friends on Facebook, but to make a long story short, middle of December 2016, she told me she had this guy she had been dating for about 3-4 months, and January 3rd, 2017, she just cut me off. No warning, just cut me off. And so 2017, about the middle of summer 2017, my health took a dive again. I've read somewhere that a health problem, a serious health problem, or a decline in your health can happen about 6 months after a very, very stressful event. Well, that happened to me. I felt like I just had nothing in me. Started taking turmeric and curcumin, which brought me back to life. But I was also, I think it was maybe, when did it start? Sometime in the summer of 2017, I started getting nausea. I was having nausea problems, and then I would throw up, and I think it was August of 2017. I think I missed work for about a week, or maybe 10 days. And I was finally able to recover, and after 1 or 2 visits with my doctor, he figured he diagnosed me with PANDAS, something called PANDAS, P-A-N-D-A-S. It's from having strep throat, chronic strep throat that isn't diagnosed or treated, and pretty sure I had that back in the 90s. I just had terrible sore throats that would go on forever and ever and ever through the 90s. And I didn't get looked at it because I didn't have money to go to a doctor, because I had so many health problems. I wasn't making money. And then my doctor prescribed me azithromycin. And that really helped me a lot. My health improved a lot. Except azithromycin is a pharmaceutical antibiotic. I don't think anyone else is here. And you can't be on it all the time. And so since 2017, he can put me on it, 1 or 2 times a year, but I can't be on it all the time. I was on it, February. I had about a month's supply of it. I could take 2 pills a week, and I had enough through February of 2019, and so I felt a bit better February 2019 and into March, and then April, another nosedive. And then another thing I've been living with is I started having leg weakness. Hit me, I think, as middle February of 2018. I woke up one morning and I barely had the strength in my legs to walk. And I had to run an errand that day, and I was driving on the highway on the way to somewhere. I had to push on my leg to have enough strength to stop my truck, to hit the brakes hard enough. And there's a daily vitamin I have taken, and that seems to help a little bit. I still have trouble with leg weakness. Another thing I live with is I've had food intolerances. That started about late 80s, 87, 88. It's another thing that was mysterious. My family kept accusing me of faking it. Well, I wasn't faking it. My doctor even asked me if I was faking it. No, I'm not faking it. I have food intolerances to about 40 different food ingredients. I've been completely off dairy now for about a year. I've been off sugar now for about 2.5 months. I have a very, very limited diet. 2018, another thing that happened is my mind wasn't as strong. I kept wondering, okay, am I in the beginnings of dementia or Alzheimer's? just was having so much trouble with memory and brain function, more trouble with decision making and figuring out how to fix my lawnmowers, figuring out how to fix my trucks. And I pray to God, and I kept asking Him, okay, why is my mind, am I getting dementia? That's my greatest fear. I don't want to live my last days with dementia or Alzheimer's. That's probably almost anybody's greatest fear, to live their last days with their memory going. And over the winter, I finally figured it out that I have to have meat protein every day in order for my mind to be working good and to be functioning well. On a bad day, I could be on a pizza delivery. I could get a block away from the store and completely forget where I'm going. And I got to look over at the ticket, and then I see the address, and then I'd have to think a little bit. Okay, I know where that street is. But it's been an unbelievable struggle. Unbelievable. On the internet, I've read that people compare living a battle with Lyme disease to be just as intense as a battle with cancer. And I go on Lyme forums on Facebook, and there are people that are much worse off than I. And then there's lots of people on YouTube that have videos about their journey with Lyme disease. My fellow Lymies out there, you probably have seen Carissa Colette's Slice of Lyme video series. She hasn't posted a video since March 12th of 2019. She got a new pup, and she said she was going to take a month break off from social media to get acquainted with this new pup. She hasn't posted a video since then, and I'm worried about her. I know she has a terrible struggle with Lyme disease. I have only Borrelia. She has Borrelia and I think 2 or 3 other co-infections. There's this really pretty lady out in San Francisco area that she's posted on some of these same YouTube video, reply, where you post a reply, and she has Rocky Mountain spotted fever and I think 1 or 2 other co-infections of Lyme, and she's so sick that she can't work. Her and I are friends on Facebook, and she's on disability. I think she gets a check of around $900 a month, and she's living with someone that's letting her live at their house, and she's having a struggle just gathering enough money to go see doctors because she can't get insurance to cover all of her visits to the doctors to see a Lyme literate doctor. There's stuff that Lyme literate doctors use that isn't covered under insurance, and so it's just been an unbelievably frustrating challenge the last 5 years. I think it was August of 2014. One of my brothers came here, and in the other barn he helped me for about 2.5 hours build a shelf. I built, with 4x8 sheets, I built a frame and I built a shelf, then another one right above it. I have 2 of those in the other barn. I have 2 others in here that are single level. I got another one in the grain bin, and I'm grateful that he helped me with that. And then my 2009 Ranger, 2 of the 3 rear axle seals were leaking on it, and I had bought another axle that I was going to put in my 2004 Ranger. This axle had like 3,000 miles on it, and I was so sick in early 2015 that I needed to replace this axle, and thankfully this brother, I got the day off from work. I drove down to his house. I think it was February or March of 2015. Yeah, I think it's February of 2015, and in one day he did more work than I did. We took out the old axle and put the new one on and put new brakes in. I'm really grateful that he did that. One shop quoted me $1,000 to do all that work, and I didn't have the money to pay a shop to do that. But it's been so frustrating. Yes, I have too much stuff here. I've gotten rid of projects. I got rid of lawnmower frames. I've gotten rid of other projects. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. This used to be so jam-packed that you couldn't step on the floor anywhere. It was the same with the other barn where I got storage in, and the grain bin. It was so much stuff you couldn't step on the floor. And slowly, over the last 6 years, I've gotten rid of stuff. I sold my prized F250 about 5 years ago. I needed a clutch slave on it, needed rear brake work. I loved driving that truck, and I thought, boy, I'm just so sick. I can't keep it. I need to get rid of it. I sold it for $500. And boy, that was a great truck. It only had 107,000 miles on it. Heavy-duty F250 with a straight 6 and a heavy-duty 5-speed. The thing was just built like a tank, and it sat up high. I think I actually got almost 20 miles per gallon on the highway with that truck. In town it would get it's about 12.5, but I got my 3 Ford Rangers. The 2 older ones are paid off. All 3 of my trucks need various repairs. I have $9,000 in credit cards. There's some projects I've just given away. If they didn't sell fast enough, I just gave it away. Some things I actually, went out and bought through Craigslist. I had some chipper shredders that I was going to. There was 2 of the same item, and one of them wasn't complete. I was going to fix them up and use them, or else fix them up and make a lawn vacuum out of them. I looked at them. They used to sit over here. I thought, get rid of them. I just don't feel good enough to get at them. I got another lawn vacuum. It's got a chipper shredder attachment on the back side. I've put that up for sale. Nobody's bought it. Maybe I just have to lower the price. But it's so frustrating. There's people trying to work on cures for Lyme disease. There's a new thing, disulfiram. I don't remember the exact spelling of it. There's some pharmaceutical drug. This rich guy out in the eastern United States, his wife got Lyme disease, and she was hit really hard with it. And he dedicated $50 million into research for a cure for Lyme disease. And this disulfiram has worked for some people, hasn't worked for others. Some people that take it end up in a psych ward, and I'm going to have to ask my Lyme literate doctor when I see him in August about disulfiram. There's actually a Facebook page for disulfiram for treating Lyme disease, but I'm not going to leap into it without talking to my doctor first. So back to all this stuff. I got parts I've saved from various mowers I've parted out. If I was in a real jam, I could just scrap some of this stuff. Other stuff is just too valuable just to scrap. Maybe a few things I'd give away. My 3 Toro garden tractors, I'm not going to give them away. Between them and the attachments and extra parts, if I could sell them all one by one, I could come up with $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 maybe. If I could sell them all in one day, I'd do it. Get a brand new garden tractor. But it's so frustrating over and over and over again. I've asked people on Facebook, you know, can someone help me work at my storage? You know, people that were in the church I used to go to. I did, I think it was November of 2017, one of my coworkers at the pizza restaurant I work at, I paid him $20 an hour to come here and work, and we worked for 4 hours. We took several breaks in those 4 hours. I paid him $20 an hour cash to help me move stuff around, and both of us were exhausted by the end of the day. He offered to do it again for me this last winter, and I says, man, I'm just too short on money. And he says, well, you could pay me later. And I just wasn't comfortable with that, but he moved out to Colorado about a month ago, so I can't hire him. But another pizza place opened up 3 months ago. I'm taking less deliveries and I'm making less in tips. There was another pizza place that opened 2.5 years ago that's given us competition. So my income has gone down. My tip income has gone down. Usually by about the middle or late summer, I've made enough extra money that I have $1,200 to $100, $1,500, maybe $2,000 cash on hand. But not this year, not last year, not the year before. So it is so frustrating, so frustrating. I've wanted to get some help. I haven't felt good this summer. I did work in here, I think for about 5 hours 1 week ago tonight. Would have been Wednesday, what day is it? 17th, Wednesday, July 10th that would have been. And yeah, I worked in here about 5 hours. I worked through here. I bagged up old cardboard that I had sitting around that I'd used over the years to put under a mower or put under a truck when I would work on it. And I filled up a whole big heavy-duty plastic bag with cardboard, and if I bring it in on the right day, I can put it in the dumpster behind the restaurant I work at. They gave me permission to do that. I have another new bag in this trash can. I have another bag over here that I could fit a little bit more stuff in. But it's the Lyme disease. It's just like it's like wandering through a minefield in the dark. And then I've had my arm pain. I've had my leg weakness, and it's just unbelievable. All of this stuff I'm going through, and then I have multiple people who have told me, Boyd, get down to 1 vehicle. You shouldn't have 2, you shouldn't have 3. Well, I know I shouldn't. I don't need 3 vehicles. I need 2. I need a backup vehicle. Without a working vehicle, I don't have a job. So if 1 vehicle has a major breakdown and I don't have cash to fix it, where am I going to be? I'm out of a job. I don't have a pizza delivery job. I make about twice as much. Well, not quite twice as much delivering pizza as I would on just a regular minimum wage job. And it's so frustrating. Other people have their own opinions, and if I don't do things exactly the way they think I should, I'm talked to like I'm just dumb, or you're not listening, or you're a stupid idiot. And, well, they don't say that. They just talk to me like I'm a stupid idiot. And I'm so tired of other people's opinions. I'm 52 years old. And, I don't know. My 2009 Ranger was rear-ended May of 2018 on my way to work while I was driving from here to work, and it was rear-ended and ended up totaling it, and I got this check for like $5,300. The frame is still straight on the truck. I have another bed I bought for the truck, but that $5,300 was gone in the span of about 2.5, 3 months. My mom needed money. I think I gave her about $2,000 in June, and then I paid for a shop to do some repairs on the tractor that my phone and the tripod is sitting on, and it still needs the alternator fixed, rectifier and the regular need to be fixed, and that shop quoted me $500 to do that work. But I was going to sell this one truck that was totaled last year. It was technically totaled, not on paper it was totaled. But the rest of that $5,300 went to various repairs on my newest Ford Ranger, which I had parked the winter of 2017-2018. But I got about $9,000, and between PayPal and other credit cards, I have about $9,000 in debt there. And I'm trying to make forward progress, but there's a lot of weeks where the great majority of my energy goes to working my job, and I have almost no more energy left. Going up and down the stairs for the basement to wash clothes, it's like, oh no, I don't want to go down these stairs or up these stairs. My legs get so tired. I'm 52 years old now. I'm not 30, I'm not 40, I'm not 20. Just so many things happening. And then my doctor, he knows all the stressors I've had over my life. I was diagnosed with PTSD in the mid-90s. I had 3 traumas before I was 10 years old. And I have other stresses and other stresses and other stresses and other stresses. And my doctor keeps bringing up, Boyd, see what you can do to reduce the stress in your life. It's not good for you. And boy, I just would love to get some help. Really would love to get some physical help. Just physical help without someone telling me how I should do things. Just physical help. So stinking frustrating. You can't, I can't believe it. And if I have energy, I'm not lazy. I'm not a lazy person. I love having energy. I would be so happy if I could go back to the early 1980s, and if I could have known that bullseye in my right arm was Lyme disease, was something that was going to have a huge negative effect on my life. Oh boy, I would have searched all of the earth to try and find a doctor to diagnose it and treat it. It's just a nasty disease. Nasty, terrible disease. And I had one person in an email today says, boy, just sell all of it. Just sell all of it. Well, no, I don't want to sell all of it. It's a hobby. I've wanted to build these pull-type mowers since the 90s. Where is it? I got, where are my blades? Got my blades here. Special ordered some blades. There they are. I had a design for a rear discharge pull-type mower. And I found, I think these are X-Mark blades. They're identical blades except 2 of these are rotate this way and the other two rotate that way. I think it was a rear discharge mower. They're the same length, same center hole size, and all that. And I bought these probably about 15 years ago. I was going to build the pull type mower. I have these big long steel things in the other barn that I was going to make mower decks out of. I got spindles, and I just can't, unless I became completely disabled. I don't want to get rid of this stuff I've gathered for my projects for the pull type mowers. I don't want to get rid of my pedal cart. I do want to go through here and through the grain bin and through the other barn and go through stuff, but it's slow. It's really slow trying to get through all this stuff. I hope nobody else is out there. I don't, normally if the owner's son was here, I'd hear him open up the door. Well, it's late at night. It's 10:09 p.m. I don't think his mom would be up here this late at night. But I don't know what else to say. I wish I could get help. I really, really wish I could get some help. But nobody wants to help. I know people are busy. People have various health problems. They have their lives. And I think some people are scared of getting involved in helping someone and then feeling like they get sucked in and they're obligated to come back and help that person. Well, nobody's obligated to come back and help me. But, over the years, I've been driving, pickup trucks, little trucks and bigger trucks since the early 90s, and I carry tools with me, carry floor jack, tow straps, jumper cables. And over the years, there's so many times I have stopped to help people. I can't even remember all of them. People that have driven their vehicle under the little bridge, under the old St. Clair Bridge in Stillwater. There was a spot where you used to be able to drive under. And if the water was too high, people's cars would die under there. Well, I've pulled 2 cars out of there. I've pulled cars out of the ditch. I pulled over one night at 2 in the morning for a guy that was changing a tire, and I went up and says, "Oh, how you doing?" Turns out it was a unmarked state patrol car, and the tire blew going down the highway at over 100 miles an hour. And there was the officer there changing it all by himself on the side of the road. He was on a curve and on 694, but at least at 2 a.m. there's not much traffic. But I've helped a lot of people, and you would think, okay, is God keeping count? Is God keeping track of, okay, how many times did Boyd help people? And does he keep count? Is there a score on this so Boyd can get paid back? Maybe Boyd can get helped some way. But this is probably the most, if not the most frustrating thing in my life. It's in the top 5. Just trying to get through all of this. I have probably about half of much stuff as I did 6 years ago. Is this hoarding? Yeah, it's crossed the line into hoarding. If I was completely healthy and out here working on stuff, say 5 days a week, it would look a lot different than it is here. And by now I would have gotten through everything. I would have gotten through a lot of projects, and I would probably be down to having half or a third of what I have. But I don't know. Just so frustrating. So unbelievably frustrating. Yep, trying to go through a minefield. Minefield in pure darkness on this battle with Lyme disease. Leg weakness, nausea, throwing up, arm pain, loss of strength in my arms. Trying to figure out what to do, what not to do. Getting off sugar. Just unbelievable. Well, I've been rambling on now for, I think, looks like about 55, 56 minutes. I think I covered all bases. But this is one of my videos where I just kind of open up and let it all out. Let my frustrations out. It's been funny that, like, the gal, I use her middle name, the gal that I wanted to marry. Her middle name is Rose. In one message, she says, well, if I was there, I'd help you, Boyd. I have a cousin that lives in Michigan. She says, well, if I was there, I'd help you, Boyd. I have a brother that lives near Sydney, Australia. He says, well, if I was there, I'd help you, Boyd. And all three of those people are at a safe distance in which they can say, yes, if I was there, I'd help you. But the other people that I know that live in Minnesota or live within a short distance of me haven't said, oh, I'll help you, Boyd. Is this my fault? Yeah, I've gotten myself into this, but darn, I didn't know. I've known since the early 90s that I had some serious health problem. Didn't get it diagnosed until 2013. And of course, yeah, getting the credit card debt, that's my fault. Yeah, some of the stuff is some, you know, I bought some Lionel trains. I've also bought tires for my trucks that I charged. I've bought parts for my lawn tractors. But I got 3 of these big Toro garden tractors. This one I bought a year ago for $100. I had a fire. Well, I bought it for $250 with the mower deck. Sold the mower deck for $250, so I essentially got it for free. And my other 520xi has manual steering, and I got to fix the linkage on it for the hydro, and I got to fix a few other little things and sell it because my arms would hurt too much steering that thing since it's manual steering. The other 2 tractors are power steering, but yep. I don't know how many people would be watching this whole video, which is close to an hour now. But yeah, I wish I could get help. It's a busy, complicated world we live in. Lots of distractions, lots of stress. People get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed. I don't know. I had one other thing I was thinking about. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it out of this video. But, yep. Well, let's try again. Let me see if I can get myself to levitate off the ground by pulling up on my hair. See if I can get my feet off of the cement I'm standing on. No, it's not working. I'm still standing on the cement. So, if anyone out there figures out how to levitate, can you tell me how to do that? Because it's kind of impossible to do. Yep, I got a lot of cord. Yeah, I've started drinking a bit more of the it's a BAI brand drink coconut juice. Most of the juices they make are a coconut juice. They're sweetened with stevia. Well, stevia is a natural antibiotic sweetener. And I started drinking a bit more of that in the last week, and maybe that's why I've been feeling better for about the last 4 or 5 days. I would love to be able to get through this all myself. Maybe when I see my doctor in early August, he will tell me something else that they have found that can help people with Lyme disease, or maybe he'll prescribe me the azithromycin again, and maybe I could be on that for another month or two and feel noticeably better for 2 months. And then my health will go downhill again. But anyway, for anybody who's stuck through with the video, which is now an hour or a little bit over an hour, I thank you for watching and listening to me just let loose and talk about a lot of different subjects. But well, I gotta wake up early tomorrow morning so I can go and see the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014 engine. It's going to be on public display in downtown St. Paul. I went and saw it today. It came in today, but it wasn't on public display. You had to stand on the other side of a fence to see it. I think I'm going to go home and do some little things that don't need much energy. Maybe watch a movie and then get myself to go to bed much earlier so I can go and see that engine before I have to go to work late in the afternoon. Anyway, well, thanks everybody for watching. Please check out my many other videos. I have somewhere close to 300 videos now on YouTube on many different subjects, and please go check them out. All right, thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.